Hi, Emmanuel here with T2S, and T2S stands for Transformed to Succeed. What I do is just to help somebody like you build your portfolio as a cloud and DevOps engineer, as well as get ready for your interview as well as the job that you want to pursue next. So I do that by just helping you learn some of these skills to build your own projects and get inspired from my projects and customize these, adapt them to whatever needs that you may have pertaining to the job requirements for which you may be applying for. Or maybe you are already working for a company and you need some ideas on how to troubleshoot, how to design, optimize an infrastructure. This is the right place, and that's what I do. So I give you as much information as possible. In this video, what I'm gonna do, however, is to show you how you can use Python. You can use Python to clean up your resources on AWS. You can also change these scripts to fit your needs. Let's say you're dealing with Google environment or Microsoft Azure environment or Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud, Alibaba, and the list goes on. You can still use these and then adapt them to fit your specific needs. Without further ado, I'm gonna show you what I have here. First of all, this is our console. I remember working on a project for a company uh, in my past, a couple of years ago. I worked for this company, and they wanted me to clean up some of the resources that they were not using. With cloud computing, if you do not clean up your resources, you may get charged for those resources. So how do you automate that process so that you don't need to have or keep resources that you don't even use? Here is my console, and you see I don't have any EC2 instances running at this point. But if you go like here, you see there's like 17 key pairs that I don't need. And then these, when you have unused resources, they may trigger a flag, a security flag to say that you've not been using this resource for like 6 months or 2 years. So to avoid that, and also to optimize the cost of using your cloud resources, you just need to add that habit of cleaning up your resources, and you can do that easily. So you see here, and then when you go here like to the volumes here, look at these volumes that I have, and then they may also need to be cleaned up, you see. But all of them are from last year, like October 2024. And these are some of the things that you would need to also clean up. But the scripts that I have, I didn't provide the cleanup of this. But you can do the same. Like these are like the volumes used by, you see here, EKS here. So it looks like I worked on a project at some point, and then these volumes are still here. All right. So you can also clean up those resources. So you have volumes here, and then you have key pairs, and sometimes you may have a lot of security groups. Here I only have one, which is the default, because I did some cleanup before this video. I said, no, I need to clean up my environment. And then I said, you know what, I'll go ahead and recode this because I use this as part of my work for one of my clients. I mean, this is real stuff, okay? And I'm also using it for myself, all right? Where do you go find the script? you go to my repository here, Python project. You're gonna find the scripts that I pushed just today. They were on my computer. I decided to push them to record this video. As of now, as I'm recording this video, that's like 1 hour ago. Okay, so you're gonna do that, and then you come. What you do, you just git clone this. You're gonna get some bonus scripts here for the calculator, but what we want to focus on, it's Boto3. Boto3. What Boto3 is? It's what we call. I'm gonna explain this to you. It's like a Boto3. So it's used on AWS. We use it for AWS as an SDK, which is a software development kit, or we also refer to it as a modules. And sometimes you may, as a module, you may hear people say it's like gives you access to the different APIs of AWS. In brief, Boto allows us to interact with AWS. All of the resources that you have on an AWS account, you can interact using with all of those just using Boto3. So that's what you need to know, and which means that when we go to our console or our command line, we're gonna need to import. We're gonna need to import Boto3, and then that's something that you have to do. Looking at the script here, we have some I provided some recommendation here, or some instructions. So you're gonna need first to install. You need Python to be installed on your system, and then you're gonna need to install, like in this case, you install Python. This is the one of the best practices. You install Python here, and then you create your own environment. It's a virtual environment, VNV. So it's a virtual environment, and in this environment, this is where you're gonna have to install Boto3, so that when you're done with testing and doing whatever you need to do, that you can get rid of that virtual environment. That's very user friendly, and I think that's a good practice to do. But after you create your virtual environment, we're gonna then activate that environment. We'll activate that environment. This is like using in case you are not in the path, in the correct location where your virtual environment is, then you're gonna need to use this path. But just typing in, if you move into this environment, you just use activate. Okay, and then when you get there, you install Boto3, and then we will be able to run our script. At the end, we're gonna clean up by just deactivating the virtual environment. Personally, I deactivate and then I clean up. All right. So let's go to the virtual, to the command line. So on the command line, what you gonna do? I think I have two windows open. I'm gonna close this one here. All right. So on the command line, you need to, of course, you're gonna have to do git clone. I'm gonna do git clone and get the entire project. For the entire project, you're gonna need to get the Python project here. So this is the link here. No, this is not the link. So it's gonna be Python project. Do Python project. And then on mine, because I may probably have it here, you see I get this error because I already have it. So I'm gonna clear my screen, and if I ls, you're gonna see that I already have that project on my system here. Okay, let me clear my screen. I'm gonna make sure that I copy the path correctly. So let's try that one more time here. Okay, so you git clone this repository, and then we moved into this here by using this command here, cd, and then Python, move into that. If you ls, you're gonna have what we have. We don't need what we need here. We don't need the calculator. What you need to do is to go into this one here, okay? Because this is where we're gonna be. So I do that, and then you can do the ls command to list the content of this directory. So here we have everything that ends with .py. That's a Python script. So we have all of these Python, like let's cat the S3 bucket here. So if you cat, you see here, we start by first importing the Boto3. At this point, we may not be able to run this command or these scripts. And to do that, first, we're gonna make sure that we have Python 3. And then we need to make sure that we have Boto3. So I'll clear my screen here. So let's check to see if we have Python 3 here. And every time you see something like this, it means that it's there. So I'm gonna say exit. Okay, so it's there. Or you can also do this here version. And okay, so it's gonna be Python 3 here. So you see we have it here. So now let's check on Boto3 and see if we have it. We don't have it. And instead of downloading this in this location, we create first our we're gonna create a virtual environment. So we'll say VNV. Let's give it the name VNV, or you can say anything like AWS project. You can do that. So we were creating the environment, and now we need to move into our environment. So that's a cd, and then in here we can now install Boto3. We're gonna have to install it here. Let's use this command here. 3 install Boto3. Before we install, first we're gonna have to activate it. Let's activate it. Source activate. Okay, so this is what we have. This is the environment, the virtual environment, and what we need to do is to use this command here. It's gonna be source, and then the name of the environment, and we will activate it this way here. So now you see this, it means that it's been activated, and then we should be able to install Boto3 from here. So we're gonna do that, and that is done. And now that we're done, if you ls, you're gonna see all of our scripts here. For instance, if we want to, let's say we want to, what I want to do is to clean. So I'm gonna use the clean. You see this one here? This is the clean, and I'm gonna share with you, just explain to you what we will be doing here, so we're gonna import different modules here. We're gonna import the Boto3, we wanna import the datetime, and then also we're gonna import TZ, like time zone, from the date util, which is another module. So we under here, we from that package list of packages, we're gonna import this one here, time zone. And then what we want to do, it's several things that we want to do here. So we're gonna first initialize our AWS clients. So we this is like setting a variable. Okay, so you're gonna set up a variable saying EC2 instance client, EC2 client would be this one here, and then CloudWatch logs, because we wanna get rid of log groups that we do not use. We'll do the same here, and the IAM client. Okay, and this is a function. We define a function. This is going to be a function, and then we have the print, meaning that we'll see this when we run this script. It's gonna be displayed on the screen. And then now we're gonna define our time, like saying 3 months ago will be equal to what. So we set a variable saying that this is the current time, and then we're gonna deduct from that, we deduct 90 days. So what's happening here, and that this will apply to every other resource that we want to clean up. We're gonna define like every like for the EBC elastic block, store, that those are the volumes that are attached to EC2 instances. Every time you create a new one, there's a disk, there's a volume that is attached there automatically. So when you attach that, I mean, when you set up an EC2 instance, provision an EC2 instance, then you can decide, you can attach how much storage and so on. So the EBS is what is attached to your virtual machine in the form of EC2 instances. And then you can change this, like instead of 3 months old, you can say, for instance, like a month old. So you can change this. And now here, this is a loop. Starting with for a while, that's a loop. So you're using a loop here to say, it doesn't stop. To say that every time, for snapshot in snapshots, then you add a conditional here. If this snapshot has a start time that is less than 3 months old, 3 months ago, then you're gonna print this. So on the screen, you're gonna see that line saying deleting snapshot, and then you will see the ID, and then when that snapshot was created or done. Okay, and then we're gonna delete. It's gonna delete it. So now that this is for EBS for volumes that are attached to your EC2 instances. And now we move to the next component. The second component of this script is to delete CloudWatch log groups. Okay, so it's pretty much the same stuff here. So we're gonna do that almost the same. But this is again to display, and this is the variable that you set to say we're gonna use this. And this is another variable that you're gonna set, and then you use the keys that, or the containers of those variables as part of this here. Okay, and then here we have a loop. Under that loop, we have another for loop. Okay, and we have a conditional here, and we have a conditional. So that it's gonna continue looping until when it meets that condition, right? So that's what's going to happen here. And we have 3 years set here, and you can change that. Most companies, they want to keep some they would say maybe we keep log groups, CloudWatch log groups for like 6 months or a year, depending on what they use them for, okay, and what the company does to serve their clients. And then the last thing, or one before the last, is gonna be all EC2 instances, and using the same kind of logic, the same logic here. And finally, not finally, so we have the security groups, kind of like the same. You see here that you set the variables here, and here you have a message that will display on the screen, and then you have a conditional here, another conditional statement. But here you have another function for the unused key pairs. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change this, because you remember I showed you that my environment is pretty much clean now. I'm gonna change the key pairs. Let's see here. So for key pair, here for unused key pairs and print placeholder. So delete unused key pairs, print. Let me see if I can change something here. Edit this file here. And what we want to do, and don't worry, you don't need to memorize this. You don't need to be an expert overnight doing this. It takes time and a lot of practice, and you can take each chunk of this script and put it in on one file, play with it, okay? But when you do that, you create a new file. You're gonna need to begin with this. You need to import the modules or the packages that are going to help you run your scripts and do whatever you want to do. So here we're looking at the key pairs here. So we're looking at the key pairs, and what we want to do, we're gonna add a few lines here. So I'm gonna go here. I will add a new line to say that 3. I'm gonna set a variable here. I'll pause the video, write the script, and then I'll explain that to you. Okay, so this is what I did. I added specifically this line here to say that we want to delete every key pair that's older than 3 months, and then we're gonna run the loop here and use the conditional statements to say that for every key pair that we find on the list of our key pairs, and we're gonna, if that key pair was created like before, like 3 months ago or before, then we're gonna go ahead and delete. So that's pretty much the message that we have here. And then we added like an exception, error exception, and to say that if there is an error, it's gonna print like error deleting key pair, because maybe this key has been already deleted or doesn't exist. So that's pretty much what I've done here. I'm gonna say yes to that. So we have that, and let's go back here to. I'm gonna go back to our key pairs here. So we have 17. We have some that were like this one was created in May of last year, of 2024, because I'm recording this in 2025. So we're gonna delete a lot of these here, and we go back to our command line, and what we need to do here is just to use this command Python 3, and then the name of the script, When we press enter, it's gonna do the cleanup for us. So it's cleaning, and you go back to our console here. Let's say we refresh. You see, we've gone from 17 to 3. You see, so that's the beauty of this script. And back to the script here, it's very, very, very handy. You know, I've used it for myself, I've used it for clients, and you can also use something like this to, you can change it to meet or fit your desired projects or tasks that you may have at this point. But otherwise, this is how you do it. And let's say so you wanna be done, then you just say deactivate. That's what you do here. So you see, we've moved from here, which is our virtual environment, to back to where we were before. And you can now get rid of this. And usually that's just what I do. So you can delete that because it's a directory. So I'll just use that, recursive. And you ls, so back to what we got from GitHub. And then I can, because I made a change to my GitHub, to this repository that I have now on my local machine, I can commit it back by saying updated cleanup file, something like that, and then I'll push it. I'm gonna push it back to the remote repository. It was on the main branch, and that's why I'm using this here. And it's doing the job, and it is done. So if you go now back to your GitHub repo, this is like a bonus section of show here. So if you do this here, you go back here, you're gonna see that we have updated the key pair. You see here, we didn't have this line here, and you see here it shows the changes that that we've made, but showing the 3 months ago here because I click on there. So I'm gonna close that here, and what I was saying is that we added this and then change a little bit of that here. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how you can use Python to clean up your environment on the cloud, and which will help you save money, right? So you only use what you need to use, and then you pay for what you need to pay, right? Thank you so much. My name is Emmanuel, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.